Hello everyone, welcome to a new episode of our podcast where we meet a lot of interesting people who have a very amazing life story to share with you. People who started from nothing and who made it to a stage of their life that I would call it success. Stability, passive income, achieve the goals that you wanted in life. And here we have one of my good friends, Mr. Codjo. We worked together for some time. Mr. Codjo, welcome. Please tell the world about yourself and about your success story.
Hello, Andraus. Pleasure to be here. Thank you for the invitation. This is something we have been speaking about for a long time.
And by the way, Codjo, I told him, once I start the podcast, you'll be the first guest. I lied, but we made it.
I didn't know about the lie until now, but thank you for letting me know. Yeah, it's good. I'm going to count it.
How are you, Mr. Codjo?
I'm very good. And you, pleasure to always good to see you, to speak about different things. Yeah, that's true.
Codjo speaks 4 languages fluently. I would say 5 languages.
Yeah, regarding the languages, it's more than 4 actually. If we count the languages from Benin Republic, local languages that we speak there. If we take only Beninese languages, I speak fluently 3 or 4. I can understand more because they are languages that are really close. There are some that are like a mix of 2 or 3. So if you know 1 or 2, you can understand. Even if you can't speak fluently, you can say some things and people will understand you. So this is regarding languages that we speak in Benin. But if we speak about what is called international languages, of course, I speak 3.5. French, which is considered my first language.
Say something in French so people believe you.
No need. I think they will know. They don't need to know. I think the way I say.
Je parle français.
I think they will understand it from the way I say R, because the French R is totally different from any other language. So people will understand. So French, English, which is the language we speak in, Russian, a little bit of Spanish. So in short, this is regarding languages.
No hablo français.
No hablo français. This is a good thing. This is a good mix of languages. So
Okay, welcome, Mr. Codjo.
Thank you.
Let's talk about your beginning story. So tell us where you came from. How did you start your, let's say, first stage of life? You came from Benin. You are in school.
During my school years, I always wanted to try new things. My whole life has been about that. Exploring, learning things about myself, about the world, etc. So from a very young age, I've nourished this dream of going, or this goal of going outside of the country and living something different, seeing and experiencing something that is totally different from what I was used to. And thankfully, my parents also had this dream for me, or they subscribed to this goal for me. And
first subscriber.
Of course, very first subscriber.
So we can say the first stage that led you where you are now was you were interested in economics. You wanted to learn more.
Yes.
And this is how, let's say, it was the first light or faded light in your journey to where you reach now.
Yes, even before that, I would say the main thing that motivated me was this desire to make people around me life better, because I was lucky enough to grow up in a family where we had everything we needed. But of course, when you're growing up, you have friends from different backgrounds, different family situations, and you see that, okay, not everyone is as lucky as you are. And even with grown-ups, I look at grown-ups and I see that they're struggling in their life. Of course, they have jobs, etc. They're working, but you can still see that they're struggling. So all this came out from the desire to try to make something, since I believe that I am in a fortunate position. So this means that I can do something and help others have an impact, a good impact on their lives. So this is, and the best way to do it, in my opinion, is through learning how the economy works. In order to have an impact, you need to know what you're doing, how to do things. So basically, this is what led to my decision of being an economist. Before the real first job, of course, I think everyone has done some small side jobs. And then for the real job, I think I was lucky that it is in a field that I'm also passionate about, finance and economics and technology, which is a gap of everything. And this is where we met, actually. But one of the things I would say that helped me in this job is because I have had an interest in trading.
Trading, that's one of the main topics we want to talk about. Please explain more.
In trade, okay, how did I get into trading? First of all, I have to say that since my childhood, I have always had an interest in markets, right? I remember there is a channel and they used to do market recap every day at 6 p.m. And I would wait for the market recap. They will say how gold moved, how the euro dollar moved during the day, etc. Of course, I didn't understand anything, but I just wanted to hear about it and tell myself, okay, one day I'm going to know more about this topic, how this thing works. And in 2016, a friend of mine invited me to an event. And that event was about trading, teaching people how to trade, explaining things on the... No, it's not an expo. It's like a sort of master class to learn, to teach people how to trade, etc. So from there, we both paid and started to learn how to trade. And after that, of course, with everyone, you think at first that you're going to become very rich by trading, and then you lose money and you make some, and you understand that it's not really...
That's one of the first mistakes everybody does. Like, I'm going to start trading and I make a lot of money. I'm going to put $100, make it 100,000, and I'm going to buy my first Lamborghini. A lot of people don't know the struggle.
No, but the thing, I think it's...
Or let's say you need to be realistic when it comes to your expectations, you know? A lot of people think I'm just going to put my money in gold and I'm going to make a lot of profit and et cetera, et cetera. But, you know, I understand why people invest in gold. I would say there's a permanent bias when it comes to gold. On the long run, yes, you put money in gold. Gold keeps the value of what you have. And on the long run, you will have profit. But at the same time, this doesn't happen within a day or a year or 2 years. Sometimes it takes 5 years. Yes, we got lucky lately. People who invest, I wouldn't say get lucky. Yes, one of the things that happened lately was, I would say, the price of gold almost doubled to some extent in a very short period. I would say a record period. But still, that happens once in 10 years maybe. So yes, there is a permanent bias to gold. It's a very good way to invest. It's actually one of the best starting point I recommend to people. I have some extra money. I want to use that money. I want to keep the value of it. Yeah, put it in gold. That's one of the easiest and simplest ways for you to keep the value of your money. It doesn't matter how much you start with. Whatever that you have, if you save up $50, 100, 1,000 in very good cases, yeah. You don't know what to do with it, buy gold. That's one of the easiest ways to keep the value of your money. One of the things you need to understand here, we are just talking about stories, we're talking about our opinions. This is not a financial advice at all. Wherever we say this is purely our opinion, this is how the way we think, the way we did stuff. I'm not telling you to do, buy, sell anything that you have. Whatever you hear on this podcast, these are just what we did, the steps that we took. We're not giving you an advice, we're not telling you to do anything. At some point in your life, you meet someone, you watch a video, you watch an ad, and you're like, oh, some people do trading. And you can see you have an interest in this and you want to learn more. And this is where the first steps that everybody takes, and this is where you make usually your first loss, let's say investment. I remember when I started investing, within like a month, I lost about $300 from my savings. And I went insane. Like, I can see people put money and they are making money. Why am I not making money? You know, everyone thinks that I put my money, I trade, and I make profit. 100 becomes 100,000, and I buy my Lamborghini, I buy my house. No one knows about the struggle and the losses that you made. Everybody sees the last, or let's say everybody sees the end. No one sees the process we had to go through. One of the things that I had to go through is have a big loss, reflect on it, and see how I would move forward. For you, I believe it was similar, but in your own version. Tell us more about that.
Of course, when you start to trade, you make a lot of losses before you can make your first win. Because one thing is that when you learn to trade, it's one thing to learn how to trade and to be able to open a position. And it takes courage to open the position on a live account.
It takes courage to take the first step.
Because of course you practice on demo, etc. But demo is not live. Demo is not your own money, even if the conditions are the same, which usually they are not. On many brokers put more favorable conditions on demo. So when it is about your own money, here the stakes are high, and it takes courage again to open the first position. And yeah, I had to go through that, learn how to open the position, how to read the news, technical analysis, all those things. And obviously you lose a lot of money, you win some, you celebrate your first win, you invest again, and then you lose it. And after some time you start to get a better understanding of the market, how it works, and a better understanding of yourself, because every trader talks about, or every person who teaches about trading talks about psychology, how important it is. And one thing, I would say that learning to trade is very important, because it tells you a lot about yourself. It allows you to understand whether you are a trader or an investor, whether you have the ownership mentality, as some call it.
This is actually very good advice. At some point during your learning phase, you need to understand, are you a trader or are you an investor? This is actually a very interesting topic. Share with us more about your opinion on this.
Of course, this depends on the personality. Some people love, for a trader, it's about short gains. The market moves, you place your position, the market moves, and then you gain. Or if you are an investor, you need to think more about the long term game. It is a bit, as you mentioned, with gold. It's not, you don't wait for a day where gold is going to move and then you place a trade, or you buy gold and expect that by next month I can resell it and make more money. No, you need to think on the horizon of many years, I would say. And this is one of the things, one of the good things when you learn about trading is that it is a first step into getting in stocks, investing in stocks. And this is the great thing for those who have the ownership mentality, because you own a piece of a company, and this is more a long-term game. You can't take the trader mentality and bring it into the investment mentality, because it's not going to work. You buy the stock, you invest into the company, and then you expect the return to come after many years. But in trading, it's different. You open the position, you close it maybe in 1, 2, 3 days, and you make your profit, or you lose the money, you lose part of the money. So it is very different from, it's important to understand which one suits you best.
I like how you mentioned stocks, which is usually the next step that a lot of people do, especially the investors, those who think about the long-term game. I believe you have done this. At some point, I reached this. I would say Forex is a good way for you to learn and understand how the economy works, how the financial market works, because you focus, at the beginning at least, on the short-term gains, because when you're trading Forex, it doesn't have a direct impact as much as stocks on local currency for the company that you bought stocks, or the general economy in general. You can say it's a zero-sum game to some extent, because stocks have more effect on the real life than crypto or forex or anything else. But it's a good improvement at some stage if you understand that you are more into the long-term investment than the short-term investment. But I would say forex is a very good way for you to understand the basics, move the first stages when it comes to real-life investments, do some tests, have some losses, or let's say you can do some sustained damage, minimize the damage that you have on your gains, so you can prepare for the next stage or the next move in your life.
One thing I would like to mention as well is that learning trading or learning to trade is not necessarily about becoming a trader. There are a lot more opportunities that you can move to after learning to trade. One of these opportunities is stocks, as we mentioned. Another one can be technology.
Yes, exactly. We moved into working in forex industry when we started learning about this. Like, I remember when we had this discussion, you or me, when we were working together, my knowledge about forex helped me find a job in forex. So you're not just a trader, you are someone who is engaged in the industry itself.
Exactly, yeah.
When you understand the backstage, this is usually when it's the point where it has a real impact on your life and the way you decide how you want to invest. What do you think is the best time to invest?
The best time to invest has always been yesterday, of course, because there were opportunities on the market, there are opportunities, and there will be opportunities. So the question is not even when to invest, are you ready to invest? Because investment is a risk.
I like that.
If the opportunity is there and you do not take it, then somebody else is ready to take it, and you will not make that money.
Money doesn't wait for anyone.
Exactly. So somebody is always there to make that money, to collect it.
Right. I believe at this point, this is where it has a real life impact on your situation. You decided to make more grounded investments. I actually did the same we used to discuss this in the office, I can understand this better. I can see how the world works, how investment works, how everything is connected together, how to make a more correct decisions when it comes to investment.
One thing about investing is, one advice that people give.
This is not advice.
No, one advice that people give when you want to start investing, not trading, is to invest in something you know. Invest in one thing they say is, if you use a company's product, start with that, because it is not the end goal. Your first stock is not necessarily going to be your most performing stock, but it is for you to enter the market and to understand how things work and to start building your portfolio. Because when you speak about investing, it's about building a portfolio that is working. You're going to have stocks that are going to underperform, some are going to overperform, and at the end of the day, you are going to have a portfolio that is performing well.
Watch the overall picture, not focus on one thing. Yeah.
Exactly. When you talk about stock markets, obviously people think about the bigger markets, US, European markets, etc. But in West Africa, where I'm from, we have different stock markets. Nigeria has their stock exchange. In the Francophone countries that use the franc, we have also our stock exchange. And I started investing because these are the companies I see, that the companies that I grew up seeing. One example, the very first share that I bought is the share of a bank. And this has an impact on my childhood, because this is the bank that my father used to use. This is where he used to receive his salary. And I can tell you that in the portfolio, this is the company that has outperformed every single company that I have in the portfolio. Yesterday I watched it, and since I bought it, it is I think 160 or 200% return.
Wow!
So this is
that was your jackpot.
Yeah, it's the best, but still you have some other stocks in the portfolio that are also performing well. Some that are not performing very well, but this is just to say that learning to trade is not only about becoming a trader, sitting in front of the screen and looking for an opportunity on the market. You can do many more things, but it is just a phase that you have to go through. You have to learn how to trade. You have to learn how the market works. You have to learn to go through this psychological pressure when your money is, you are about to lose your money. Because if, for example, you don't know, you haven't had any loss while trading, how do you react when you see a stock that is underperforming? You can't just go and sell a stock that is underperforming because it's not doing well. No, this is completely different because this is for the long term.
You have to have some faith. Yeah.
You need to have some faith.
Yeah, you need to believe in the things that you invested in. Yeah,
exactly. And you don't just invest because I like this company's logo or I like the name of the company.
This is popular. I'll just do it.
Yeah, you invest because you read about them. You see that they are a stable company, they are managed well, and then you invest. You see that, okay, there is opportunity for growth on the market, and you invest in them. So
yeah, actually, it's a good idea. Like when you want to start doing or investing in something, the best time to invest is yesterday. But it's also a good idea. Take your time with your investment.
Yes,
100%. A small time loss is a better gain on the long run because you don't need to rush. No one is pushing you to do it now. Yes, there is some pressure to some extent that you need to do it now, but take your time with your investments. Read more about what you want to get into. I believe it's a good idea to invest in your local companies, in your local stocks, because who knows it better than you?
Of course.
Where I am now, I have a very good understanding about what is happening, what are the good choices that can be invested in, because you'll have a positive effect about the things that are around you, which is one of the points that we mentioned at the beginning. You want to affect those who are around you in a positive way, and one of the ways you can do it is investing in your local stocks and your local companies. So tell us more about where you are at this point, thanks to the decisions that you took in life.
I can say, first of all, let me say something, that I have not made millions out of my investments. I will not come here and tell you that I am living the best. Okay, probably I'm living the best, but not a dream life, let's say, because the goal is to always do better and better. But I can say that I'm more confident when I invest, because if I had not started trading, I have not learned how to trade, I would not invest in stocks today, I would not invest in crypto, I would not invest in other assets that you can trade or invest in. So this gives you a broader view on the market, and it prepares you to be ready to take opportunities that come, because you never know what the next big thing is going to be. You can only guess and take the risk, and if you're ready, you invest in it and then you reap the rewards. If not, then somebody else, as we mentioned already, is going to profit out of that.
What is your take on the biggest thing at the moment? A lot of people mention AI. Everyone is going crazy about AI. It's changing life, taking jobs, and moving us in a direction only corporate companies can benefit from, and the average person is not going to be able to make profit on it. But I believe we have a different story about this. Can you share your point of view?
AI comes with a lot of opportunities, obviously. Okay, first let's talk about the stock of AI companies. These companies are growing. They are making a lot of investment. They are improving their product. So, of course, their stock is going to grow. You have NVIDIA that is investing in OpenAI, that invest in Oracle, and Oracle invest in OpenAI, etc. So, of course, the stocks are going to grow. Now, if we talk about using AI, it comes with a lot of opportunities. You can't make omelets without cracking eggs, a couple of eggs at least. So, of course, some people are going to lose their job, but it's going to be about who adapts the most. There is an interesting story. In England, during the Industrial Revolution, there is a group of people that are called the Luddites. And this is when the Industrial Revolution started, and machines started, they started using machines in the factories. People came and and this shows that we are living just through the same things at different times, but people are different, the things themselves are different, but the story overall are the same. So these Luddites, they came and started breaking the machines because they were afraid that those machines are going to take their jobs. So what we can say, our ancestors or people who lived before us, they lived through, We are also living through it. For AI, it comes about who knows how to use what it offers. You have people who build companies, $1 million companies alone with AI. You have AI that can improve your productivity. You can build applications now with AI without needing a developer. So here it's about finding those opportunities that it offers and making sure you use it. Of course, the main thing regarding those who are going to be affected negatively is the ability to adapt. And this comes with curiosity.
Do you think AI will have an effect on trading?
I think it definitely will, because it's going to be very useful for beginner traders, because you don't necessarily need to watch 100 hours of a video to learn how to trade. You can just ask specific questions and get specific answers. The good thing also is that AI has the historical data of the market. So if you are interested in a specific pair, it can give you information about the past performance and predict how it's going to affect it. Also, when it comes to the economic calendar, you don't necessarily to watch everything. You can just ask, what are the events that are going to impact a specific pair that I'm interested in? And it's going to give you the answer. So this is good. And also, based on the patterns on the market, on your past trading performances, it can predict, depending on your strategy, how you should trade in order to reach your goals.
How to avoid mistakes.
Exactly. But you make the last decision whether you want to open the position, place a certain stop loss or take profit, etc. So of course, you should not expect 100% profit. Probability is the market after all, but it's going to be very useful, like in every other sphere of our lives.
By the way, speaking of trading AI, we have integrated OpenClaw when it comes to trading on XBTFX. We have a lot of information about this, how to use it, how to execute orders. You can reach the AI, ask it about the pairs that you like. For example, I want to know what is the current situation on Euro USD. It will give you an overview, and you can decide what choices you can make with the help of AI. It will give you recommendations, and then if you like an idea, you can ask it. You can ask AI to execute it, and it will actually reflect on your account. And when you say make a stop loss, make a take profit, put some other conditions in my position, it will actually do it. And when you say close it, it will close it, which will make your life way much easier. Instead of having multiple windows, multiple things open, you can just have a discussion with an AI, the same thing that you would do with ChatGPT. Tell me about this. What is your opinion on this? It will give you some information, some feedback, and you can actually either do it or not. It's all up to you. To summarize your story, which is a very interesting thing. Someone who came from Africa.
From Benin Republic. Africa has 54 countries, please. Let's be specific.
To be more specific, you started from Benin. You moved to a different country to learn more about the things that you are interested in, to help those around you using economics, because it's one of the basics in moving up in life. You need to understand economics to have a very good result in general. And thanks to the fact that you speak 4 languages, more, okay. And thanks to the fact that you speak a lot of languages, this helped you move much more and better. Speaking of languages, I believe when you learn about a language, you think differently. Like, for example, I speak English, Arabic, and Russian, and I feel like I have 3 mentalities in my head. How can you manage having a lot of languages in your head? Like, how did that affect your life?
I would say one thing I say often is that learning a language is like entering a different world, a completely new world. And one part where you can feel it is movies. I like to watch movies in original, especially if they are produced in English or French, because there are certain things that cannot be translated into other languages. How does it affect? Now I don't notice it anymore. But I remember some time ago when I was learning a new language, I would have like a process of translation in my head. So I think in French, for example, and then I will translate it into the other language and then say it. So everything happens very fast. But at some point, I started thinking in that new language that I'm learning. So I noticed that, okay, there is an improvement and I can speak better. So, and usually people ask, in what languages do you dream if you speak many languages? I would say it depends. It depends.
Yeah.
It depends. So
when people tell me like Arabic is your mother tongue, how can you dream or think in a different language? I mean, with time you start.
Context matters actually.
At some point, at some point I started having like, I felt like I have different personalities in my mind, because when you get deep into learning a language or using a language, it has a point of view, like the way you pronounce things, the way you speak about things, the way you the way how you share your opinion when it comes, or the way when you comment about stuff in different languages, you comment differently about the things that you are talking about.
Yeah, I would say also that when it is in a foreign language, you tend to say things in the shortest way possible, because you can still make mistakes. It's not your mother tongue, but when it is your first language, you speak much more. You can go over some details. You can elaborate on certain things. And this is something that I've also noticed when it comes to languages.
To conclude our discussion, looking back at your life, what would you say are the major steps that you took in your life to reach where you are now?
That's an interesting question, because I would say the major thing is me leaving Benin when I was 17, because I learned to know myself, I would say, because before that I was living through the lenses of my parents. But when you have to deal with things yourself, it is different. And setting goals, being curious about things that you have an interest in, for example, finance, trading, etc. And not only. And giving yourself the means to achieve these goals. It's easier said than done. It comes with a lot of difficulties, a lot of problems, but this is the beauty of life. You have to go through things to achieve certain things, and
to make mistakes, to learn.
Exactly. You need to make mistakes and learn from them. So setting goals, giving yourself the means to achieve them.
And how would you say trading affected your life to reach where you are now?
Trading had an impact, even though I don't fully trade now. From time to time, of course, I still open some positions. But I would say it changed first my mentality, the psychological side. Being patient, because you watch you open a position and then you see it go, you see the market go against you, and then it recovers. So when it comes to patience, to setting goals, knowing what you want to achieve, and it helped me identify that I do not have the mentality of a trader. I prefer to be an investor or an owner. So this is one of the main things I would say trading taught me or brought into my life.
And what would you say is the best advice you can give yourself if you met the younger version of you when it comes to trading?
First of all, I would say I don't think I would do anything different. If I had to
I like
do
the
it,
confidence.
I will. If I had to do it, I would do everything the same. That's number one. And number two, this is, for those who ask me for advice, this is what I always say. Know yourself. It's about that. Knowing yourself, knowing what you react to, what you don't react to. Because if you know yourself, you know when to open this position or when not to open it. You know that you can invest into this stock or not invest into this stock. And it prepares you for anything you want to do, because at the end of the day, the way you trade, the way you move, the way, even for an entrepreneur, the way you manage your companies or anything, your projects, it's a reflection of who you are. And the more you know who you are, the more you can affect your behavior, correct certain things, change certain things, and in short, know yourself, because, and this, I want to end with this. It is even the ancient Greek philosophers have a lot of quotes about that. I think Socrates has one about that. You have some other philosophers who know it. They say, know yourself and you will find the truth of God.
Nice. I would actually add another phrase. There's a great philosopher I like. He's called Alan Watts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know him.
He, like, one of my favorite phrases is, drift like a cloud and flow like water.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to be as flexible as possible. And we can add, your point of view is, know yourself as much as you can so you can act as best as you can. So be flexible, know yourself more, take your time, be realistic when it comes to your expectations. Thank you for joining. Hopefully this was a very interesting discussion for you and you learned a lot of valuable information. There will be more to come. These are one of the first steps that we are taking in our podcast journey. And as always, don't forget to follow us to learn more, make money, and have fun. Peace.